Marriage is likened to a school from which one does not graduate. However, just like every other schools, there are different points in times where we get to write our tests and examinations. Now, in marriage, these tests and examinations can come in the form of different challenges, disagreements, important decision making in our marriages. And our reactions to these tests or examinations that are thrown at us in our marriage determine if we get a pass mark or if we fail in that particular examination. Because every test that comes our ways in marriage is for a purpose, either to build the marriage more or to take that marriage downwards a bit. Now, just as the saying goes, if you do not know where you are coming from, you wouldn't know where you are headed to. Also in marriage, at every point in time, we need to sit back and then think at where the marriage started from, and then note some things, some lessons that have been crucial to bringing that marriage to the particular point where it is. For the purpose of this video, I'll be sharing with you guys some crucial lessons which marriage have taught me. Now, I had to deduce these lessons on my own. I sat back in my quiet time and I had to think from where I had started from up to this moment. Some vital lessons, some crucial lessons, either lessons I learned in the hard way or lessons that naturally they were just thrown at my face and I grabbed them immediately. Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Diamond Mom here. I film about relationship, motherhood and lifestyle. If you are new here, you're very much welcome. Please don't remain a stranger. Hit the subscribe button and join this family because you would so much enjoy it. Now, for the first thing marriage taught me is independent skills. Independence. This one applies to most married women, because when you were single, this notion of independent lady, I understand that there are some ladies that find so much joy with their man doing so much for them. But for those who for the greater part of their single days, they're so much independent on their own skill, their money, their time, their physical ability and everything, taking this into marriage has a great effect on that marriage. Because in marriage, independent skills, of course, the sole aim of marriage is because two is better than one. And God, the creator and maker of marriage, sees this and designed that the man should get married to a woman. Men are designed to be the provider, to be the protector, and when an independent woman is restricting her husband from assuming these roles, from providing, from protecting, the man seems to lose his relevance in that marriage. So I learned in the hard way that independent skills, because I was still pro, I can take care of myself, I don't need your money, I don't do this and that. But I learned the hard way that, see girl, you just have to calm down and loosen up. Now, this is marriage, this is no longer boyfriend or girlfriend where you will be, I don't want insults or this. In marriage, you don't need to be independent. The same way with the man also. Maybe when you're a bachelor, you know how to cook, you're a great homemaker, and then you get married, you're still not allowing your wife, to do things that she wants to do, because you feel like, no, I can do them myself, I do them better than you. It will make the woman to be irrelevant, especially if it is a woman that loves to cook, that loves to take care of the home. You'll be making her irrelevant. And when we are not really relevant, when we feel that we are not needed in our environment, what is the next thing that comes to the mind? Your guess is as better as mine. If you're going into marriage, just take away that independence from you and learn to depend on each other, because two better heads are better than one. So you just need to know how to depend on each other and look up to each other so as to make each other relevant. Another vital lesson I learned in marriage is family comes first. Family comes first. You know how when you are single, you always tend to put yourself first, your needs, both important needs and your wants. How you tend to put all these things first. Any money that comes into your account goes to this thing that you've been craving for, you've been longing for, not even because you don't have any other responsibility, because you don't have any other thing that that is of importance. If you want to, if I don't want to, but I come first in my life. Now, in marriage, I have come to learn that family comes first. Imagine when there is a pressing need at home, especially when the children begin to come, and then you feel like, no, I still have to look after myself first. I still have to attend to that my need. I've been saving for this bag, I've been saving for this. No, I can't risk this. My yearly vacation, my monthly this and that. And there is a pressing need at home that your partner is not really capable of taking care at that point in time, and you know that you should. Marriage has taught me that family comes first, and by family I mean the husband, the wife and the children. I do not mean extended family, I mean your first frontline family. Now, family comes first. So if you feel like you cannot sacrifice, you cannot be selfless for your family, like you cannot You cannot put yourself second, or which is not really putting yourself second, because as far as you're attending to the pressing need at home, you are still putting yourself first, of course, because that pressing need at home affects you in one way or the other. Just imagine your rent is due and your partner is not able to take care of it for that month, and you have the money, but you feel like, oh, this money has been budgeted for my vacation, this money I've been saving it up to get this gift for myself, and you feel like, okay, you want to hold your money. When you guys get thrown out, you also be thrown out together. So family comes first in any way you want to put it. I've learned to be selfless, to put family first, because it still affects me. The third thing I've learned in marriage so far is disagreement is a time to sign an agreement. Disagreement is a time to sign an agreement. Now, I learned in marriage that every fight is important. We don't just fight for fighting's sake. I don't just fight for fighting's sake personally. I like to learn from every fight. You know how you have this disagreement with your partner and you guys are raising your voice at each other, and everyone is tired and keeps quiet, and the next hour or the next minute you guys just come, okay, it's okay, I'm sorry, and everything is over like that. Tomorrow or next week you still have that same disagreement. Why? Because you did not learn anything from that disagreement. Now, for me, I learned that for every fight, for every quarrel, for every disagreement, before any reconciliation, we need to sit down like two adults and discuss about it. Because, of course, there should be a reason for this disagreement, right? So we should sit down, discuss what is the problem, where did we get it wrong, where did I get it wrong, what can we do better? How can this be prevented? We need to sign a new agreement out of that disagreement, because you never can tell. There are 1,000,001 things that would keep on springing up every day. So if you do not learn from one disagreement, tomorrow another disagreement adds upon it. Now it will get to a time whereby you have a truck full of disagreements that you've not settled, but you feel like, oh, we are at peace and we've been reconciling, we've been apologizing and so on. So it goes beyond just apologizing. For me, I learned that every disagreement must be a time, to learn something new. Also, in this disagreement thing, I also learned that nagging would not help, raising your voice would not help, being insulting would not help. In fact, these things would only add more problems upon the already existing problem which you're disagreeing about. So you do yourself a whole lot of good if you learn how to curb your tongue. Because just imagine the man offends the woman, and then the woman, in a bid to express herself, starts hurling insults at the man. Now remember that the man was the offender initially. Now it has gotten to the point whereby the woman is now the offender, and she will have to leave the main reason, the main disagreement that we could have learned from, and start tackling the issue of the woman being nagging, being insultive, and all those things. Now, forgetting the main issue. At the end of the day, the woman calms down and she apologizes and they move on. Next week, they will still come back to that initial disagreement, because there was no agreement signed from that disagreement. So for me, I feel like every fight is an avenue to learn. Every fight is an avenue to do better. Every fight, every disagreement is an avenue to resolve, not to repeat the mistake that led to that disagreement. The fourth lesson marriage has taught me, this one has to do with motherhood, is that motherhood is a full-time job. Once you get into it, there is no going back. You need to be very much prepared physically, mentally, financially, like emotionally, in all ramifications. You need to be prepared for the motherhood journey. Because once these children start coming, there is no going back. You know how if you don't like a particular job, you can take a break, or you can go for a leave, or you can even better still quit that job. For this particular job of motherhood, there is no quitting, except of course your children get grown up and they leave the house, which by then I think the job is not even stressful again. But for when these children are still in their formative years, months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, the first 10 years of their lives, really a lesson to learn that when these children start coming, there is no going back. What I deduce from this motherhood job, being a full-time job that doesn't have a vacation or a break, is that do not be pressured into entering into this motherhood journey. Do not be pressured, because once the children start coming, they do not go back. You don't have a place where you say, okay, please let them stay here for 1 year, next year I come and take them, or let them stay here for 1 month. Even if you have families that you can take your children to, there's this part of you that will not feel at peace, that will be like, okay, you still get to communicate with them every day, like you still get to do your motherly duties, whether through the far distance or near. So there is no vacation, there is no break, there is no quitting, there is no sack letter. I feel like why we have so many damaged children, why we have so many children that lack the basic foundation of a home, of a good home, is because they come into the homes of parents that were not prepared. They come into the home of parents that feel like, oh, it's just about having the kids. When the kids start coming anyhow, every day will take each day at a time. They come into the homes of parents that are not really ready, that are not prepared, that feel overwhelmed, and then leave them to fend for themselves. So this motherhood thing, we need to be prepared. I learned this in marriage. Like, I learned that you need to learn every day. You need to learn. You need to calm down. You need to be better to be able to give the best to your children. Because if you're not in a better place, if you're frustrated, if you're tensed, if you're depressed, you pour out these things on your children. Because if your partner is not there, or if your partner is one that you cannot easily, vent upon, your children are like your subordinates. You can easily vent on them. You can easily pour out your frustration. You can easily pour out your bitterness on them, thereby damaging these children, making them, to start second guessing themselves. Like, is it that I'm not worth it? Is it that I am a mistake? Is it that, and all those negative things? So we need to be very much prepared and ready for this. And even though you're already into it without preparing, you can also learn on the go. That's the good thing about motherhood. There is no best mother. There is no perfect mother. There is no, so we have to learn. We have to want to be better for these children. The fifth thing that marriage taught me is nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. Never say never. You know how you get to a point in the marriage and it feels like I don't think anything positive can actually come out after this. Like, I don't think we can actually survive this. No, I don't think I can go further. Never say never. Nothing is impossible. That's difficult situation. That's hard. That thing that you feel like, no. I can't. I can't. I just can't. I don't think this marriage can survive this. Never say never. It will and it should. In fact, it must if you put in the work to it. So nothing is impossible in marriage. You feel like your partner has started portraying some negative vibes which you are averse to, and it is a no-no to you, it is a deal breaker. It is, as far as it is not, detrimental to your life, it's not life-threatening. I feel like there is always a way around these things. There is always a way around these things. Like, one day you guys will still find a way, you guys will still come to a compromise, you guys will still settle this, and so, but just keep an open mind. That is what marriage has taught me. A deep hidden lesson that I learned in this is pride. To do away with pride. It is pride that comes masking in that, I know my worth, I can't reduce myself to this, no way I would have been if not because of this, I can't do this and that. See, nothing is impossible, and that pride is just masking. It's just masking. It is a time bomb that needs to be done away with so that it doesn't make a blast in the marriage. So nothing is impossible is another lesson that I have learned in my marriage. The final lesson, and which I'll say the most important lesson I learned in marriage, I have learned so far in marriage, and I'm still learning, because of course I'm just on my way to my 5th mark in marriage. I'll still get to 10, 20, 30, 40, and of course the lessons keep on growing and growing, and will keep on getting better. But for now, the most important lesson I have learned is prayer is underrated, guys. Prayer is underrated in marriage. You can't get enough of prayer. Like, you can't get enough of prayer. There is a prayerful solution for every issue you have in marriage. You don't like the way your partner is behaving, take it to God in prayer. Talk to him, this and this, because there should be no excuse for rebellion in marriage. There should be no excuse for rebellion, because your partner is not giving you the vibes you want. Therefore, I need to, to also go away, to also go astray. There is no excuse for rebellion in marriage. So prayer is underrated. In my first year of marriage, I thought I could do this on my own, by reading, by trying to have an open mind, by trying to be this and that, by trying to be flexible. It just seemed as if I was sinking deep, until I had to, calm down. I took a pause, I took a break, and then I went back to the source. I went back to the foundation. I had to invite God into this, that, I'm so sorry, I've been doing this on my own. I thought maybe it's just to follow the principles, forgetting that you need to always go back to the person who gave you these principles. Of course, there are principles to make your marriage work: healthy communication, honesty, this and that, but you cannot take out the person who made this principle out of the equation. So guys, prayers is underrated in marriage. You know how we are like, it's not everything that is prayer. You need to work hard, you need to do this. How will you pray for this? If your husband is cheating, you say pray for him. If you're passing through financial distance, you say pray for him. How can you pray for a lazy person? How can you pray for a cheat? How can you pray for a liar? How can you pray for sin? Prayer is underrated. We cannot get enough of prayer. Like, we cannot do without prayer. There is nothing that prayer cannot solve. If really you believe, not just you praying and then you're like, I know it won't work, but let me just pray just to get it out of my chest. But you need to believe. You need to believe, because that is the only instruction that will be given. When you pray, believe, have faith that this thing you're asking for is already given to you. And guys, prayer has really helped me in my marriage. So at this point in my marriage, I don't think there's anything that would really come my way that the first thing that will come to my head is not prayer. God, how do I go about this? What do you think? What do you want me to do? Holy Spirit, what? Just come and ask, come and take charge, like come and ask, come and speak through me. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? And all those stuff. These are the amazing lessons that I have learned so far in my almost 5 months in marriage. And I feel like these lessons have really helped me to keep on getting better and better, because when I sit back in my quiet time and I ruminate on these things and I look at where I'm coming from and where I want to be, where I'm headed to, it makes me to become better. It pushes me to my feet, to want to become better and also to learn from these lessons. So I just feel like, let me come and share these lessons with you guys so you can also learn from these things. So if you found this video informative, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified as soon as I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.